Bruatlly, and today's date is January 4th, 2011. I'm making this video file today to ask people if they wouldn't mind doing me a favor. A P.O. box has been set up for me to receive any type of support from any individual who might want to send me a letter or any other type of support in reference to me being a target of gang stalking, human trafficking, remote neural monitoring, remote neural stimulating, remote neural influencing, electronic harassment, the computer-to-brain feedback loop, and open physical gang stalking, which is also known as organized stalking. If you go to www.gangstalkandroll.com, under their techniques page, you can clearly see that isolation is a huge part of their expeditions. It flat out says it. Recently, I just bought a book. Well, it was in September, I believe it was, called Closing the Gap. I bought it through Barnes & Nobles and had it delivered. And it flat out says it in there as well. And since I'm experiencing the isolation, I ought to know that I'm a target of it. Anyways, I'm kind of video shy, so please excuse my mannerism in reference to how sometimes my videos might appear. Now, the P.O. Box number is 60571, San Diego, California, 92166. And if I don't get any letters, I'll have to assume that it's the post office keeping them from me, in reference to how they mail theft and mail delayment is part of gang stalking expeditions. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, you can easily Google that as well. Excuse me. I just woke up. Hang on a second. Okay, anyways. If this video stops when I'm in the middle of talking, it's because my batteries run out. I'm literally going through $10 in batteries every 4 to 6 days. Now, I'm on disability, and I'm trying to fight this gang stalking expedition that's going on towards me, and it's really, I'm on disability, and I literally have to spend my money because of criminals. You would not believe the extreme criminality that is going on towards me, and I can get no help because of the simple fact that the individuals who are responsible for this are directly connected in the system. Directly. It's almost mind-boggling the way I have to live as a result of this criminal activity that is going on towards me, while the individuals who protect it and are involved in it get to go home and sleep in nice warm beds in houses that are paid for in part off the money that they get from the criminality. These people are into human trafficking. Erica Gilmore is also talking about how they're directly connected to drug dealing. Just Google Erica Gilmore at Google and gang stalking. Erica Gilmore and gang stalking, and come to understand the criminal manifestations that our fellow police officers are involved in. Now, I'm not saying all police officers, I'm not saying all firefighters, but I'm going to guarantee you something right now. When you have a target that's been isolated for over 10 years, and all they experience is gang stalking expeditions, and since members of the police departments and fire departments in that person's life have been played direct roles in them, then it's very easy for any human being to say all police officers and fire departments are involved in this. I want the American public to understand something. Gang stalking and police officers and gang stalking and fire department personnel is not on the internet for no reason. Google these terms in reference to the descriptions and cross-reference it to gang stalking and come to understand the amount of responses Google generates. These amount of responses are not on the internet for no reason. So how can I, as an American citizen who is just as important as you, your neighbor, your sons, your daughters, how am I less important than they are? And how am I less important than the extreme criminals that are in our system that are doing this to average American citizens? Average human being, black, white, okay, Mexican, Persian, Asian. You would not believe the things that I have seen before my eyes as a direct result of police officers and fire department personnel. You would not believe it. And these same individuals are literally getting paid for through your tax dollars, and they're getting pensions from your tax dollars. And they're involved in human trafficking, human experimentation. You would not believe the extreme criminality these people are involved in. And And what does that do? Let me ask you a question. What does that do to the police officers and firefighters who are involved in this? What does that do to their reputations when you witness and become aware that they are involved in these expeditions, and then you go down the street and you see one, and you have to wonder yourself, is this guy part of it? Is this guy part of it? Do I have to worry about what might happen to my son and daughter because I don't know if this particular police officer or firefighter is involved in these activities? And what about the police officers and firefighters that aren't? What have they got to put up with when they go to work? Because they know that if they step out of line, that the same thing could happen to them in reference to organized stalking. You know, I wanted to be a police officer my whole entire life, and they're going to even use that against me. They literally even use that against me. And I'll explain that as YouTube videos follow. But I'm going to tell you something right now. What about the individuals that grow up and they grow up thinking to themselves that the police officers are the good guys because of the way society conditions people to believe that they are, you know, as they're growing up in their developmental years. You know, and then they get to a certain age, or they might join the military, or they think to themselves, I'm 18 now, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to be a cop, I want to do good. And they go to school for 4 to 6 years, whatever, to become a police officer. And then once they sign on board, and then they start over, you know, the first few years, they start to realize that their fellow people that they're employed with are involved in organized crime. What can they do? How can they get out of it? You know, and if, you know, what kind of positions are they put in as a result of some of the things they might witness? We're talking about people that have even had their hopes and their aspirations dampened on because of a direct result of the organized crime that's invested in the system and protected by the system. Okay? You know, I begin to wonder how many police officers have been killed as a direct result of things they've witnessed at work. Because I'm going to tell you something right now, a lot of gang stalking targets are picked as a direct result of things they witness. Google Jesus Mendoza. Yeah. So I want to make this statement to any police officer that's out there that wished he could do something in reference to the type of criminality that your fellow officers are engaged in. I understand. I really do. I really do. You know, hey, look, if you're in my position right now, do you honestly think that human beings don't have a right to their anger? Okay? If you were in my position right now, how do you think you would feel if you had every single thing stolen from you, and the people that were involved in it literally stole your rent? They staged vehicle accidents so you wouldn't even have a car to sleep in. Okay? They took all your property, then tried to human traffic you. Do you think you would have any anger? Do you think that you would have any anger at all? If they took you out of school, got you in debt, wrecked your credit, do you think that you would have any anger? So when you listen to me in some of my YouTube videos and you hear my anger, I hope you have enough maturity to know that my anger is justified. That if this had happened to you, and you had to live the way that I live and put up with what I got to put up with on a daily basis, I'm sure that you would, as a human being, come to understand that anger, justified anger, it's normal. It's an innate response to when you're a target of this type of criminality. And when you can't get no help because the very criminals that are doing it to you are infested in the system in job descriptions that are supposed to be advocate for you. Okay? So my hat's off to you. I care about, you know, I don't know if this is going to sound like, you know, weird or whatever, but I care about what you got to go through when you go to work every day and actually work side by side with criminals. Okay? You know, I understand. Okay? As far as the criminal police officers that are involved in these gang stalking expeditions and the firefighters, your day is going to come. Your day is going to come when the American population comes to understand what you are involved in and the type of criminality that you have perpetrated against innocent human beings. Okay? Your day is going to come, one way or another. Okay? You're either going to stand before my Heavenly Father and answer for your crimes and your criminality, or somebody's going to deal with you in their own ways. And I'm not talking about me in any way. I do not do any violent behavior whatsoever, and I do not do nothing illegal. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I firmly believe that these types of criminalities are eventually asked for. And so anyways, again, today's date is January 4th, 2011. These are just some personal statements that I'm making in reference to what's happening towards me in my life in San Diego, California. What else could I say right now? Well, I don't know. I just woke up. Oh, man. It's a beautiful day. You know, in the midst of everything that I'm experiencing right now, would not believe the extreme criminal negativity that is going on towards me, because the whole goal in gang stalking expeditions is to make you feel powerless over your situation, to make you feel victimized every single day, the electronic harassment, the things that open physical gang stalkers do, and they'll use anybody in the community to perpetrate this victimization towards you on a daily basis. They use Walmart employees, bank employees, postal employees. They literally and deliberately, through the stalking, ascertain where I'm going along all my routes, and all they do is engage in gang stalking activities that are hard to decipher. Because a lot of people don't know what gang stalking is and what their tactics are. Go to YouTube and type in gang stalking part 1, gang stalking part 2, gang stalking and sensitization, gang stalking and slander, and thoroughly investigate other targets' blogs. Thoroughly do it, and you'll come to understand. You got electronic harassment, remote neural monitoring. You're literally being harassed in reference to your evoked potentials. YouTube remote neural monitoring. Yeah. So all you gotta do is review remote neural monitoring at YouTube and remote neural monitoring gang stalking. You'll come to understand how a target is literally harassed in reference to their own evoked potentials. It's nothing but mental rape, okay? Because the whole goal is to make you feel victimized and victimized and victimized and re-victimized on a daily basis between the electronic harassment, the remote neural monitoring, and the open physical gang stalking, okay? My name is Leslie Williams, and the only thing that I can tell you to do is to investigate what I am describing, and you'll come to understand that what I am describing is flat out in your face, provable that it exists. And if it exists, why is it all over the internet in such huge Google-generated responses if these criminalities were not happening? It's literally flat out that simple. I'm holding up a pack of marbles right now. This exists in space and time. It's tangible, it's got physical integrity, it exists, it's got cigarettes inside of it. So when I tell you that gang stalking is all over the internet and it's happening to hundreds of thousands of Americans, and you can go to Google and YouTube and research the fact that it is, it's not there for no reason. I'm living the way I live right now today because of direct concerted effort of the gang stalking expeditions that have been going on in my life since 2002. I can get no one to help me because these criminals are infested within the system. And it's happening to my black brothers and sisters, my white brothers and sisters, my Mexican brothers and sisters, my Asian brothers and sisters, and my Persian brothers and sisters. And who can get help? Who can get help when these criminally infested, insane freaks are in the system? Who can get help? Police officers, firefighters, judges, lawyers, district attorney's office, prosecutor's office, social services workers, even social security workers. How can we get help when they wreck us financially? And then where are you going to run to? You can't run to these freaks. They're criminals. Anyways, my name is Leslie Williams. Today's date is January 4th, 2011. I exposed this because of their criminality and to brief fellow Americans about really what's going on.